On goodlifefit.com, guys, I frequently will write blogs about tips for fitness success, helping you with habits and certain habits to really start creating to help you reach your fitness success. Joey, can you kind of go into a little bit about what were your habits before you came to Good Life and what you're doing now? But I guess the biggest question would be, what made you pick up that phone and give me a call? I mean, that's what made you finally reach that point that I need to call Steve, you know?
Okay, yeah. I think some of the bad, I don't even know if I want to say some of this. I think when, in 2004, when I was in college, I had a pretty active nightlife. At the same time, I was not a cook, and it was McDonald's for breakfast, Burger King for lunch, and whatever, something for dinner, and then, when you stay out all night, you end up eating again. So I think, back then it was just kind of, as I sit here and reflect on it, it's just crazy to think how bad I ate, and just it didn't dawn, it was never an afterthought, it just, that was my routine, that's what I did. And, going through this whole journey and learning, the shred, and even just learning how to eat again and learning what food does for you and what kind of food you need to eat. We do occasionally eat out. I know sometimes we'll go take the family to Ruby Tuesdays and, have the salad bar and maybe a hamburger with that type of stuff. But it's never, we do not go to McDonald's as a family. We don't eat any of that. Like, fried food to me anymore is just almost plain disgusting. It's not good. You get out what you put in, and if you're loading your body full of that stuff, you're never going to get anything back from that. And the same thing with our kid. I think it's a little different too when you have kids, because you pay attention to that a little bit more. But we try really hard to let our kids experience some of that stuff, but at the same time in a healthy dose. So, really when we eat, it's a lot of vegetables, a lot of salads. We work on portion control. I don't like, we have these big dinner plates that everyone uses. I don't like to use those. I like my, the middle-sized ones, where they're smaller, and, you just try to, basically reflect on, the problems that you had in the past and learn from them, and then just try to eat better. I am nowhere perfect. I am definitely not perfect, but I can tell you that 2 of my 3 meals a day are almost spot on. So if I'm doing stuff like that, and I'm doing that throughout my life, I know that I'm improving. I'm setting an example for my kids, which is a big thing, and we're learning together. It's something it's never going to stop. It's especially when you have diabetes. Like, you have a lot of negative things in front of you. I know, sweets were a big thing, and sugar alcohols are the new thing where people are like, oh, it's a sugar alcohol. Don't worry. It's it is a sugar. You can't. People train their bodies or their minds to think, oh, this is okay, and that stuff's not. And during that whole diabetes process, I like candy, I like pop a lot, and for me personally, I can't cut back, just have it here or there and still be okay. That did not work for me. I was setting myself up for failure. Yes, I got rid of everything. So, if my wife had cookies or if stuff like that, they were put away where I did not know where they were, or she took them to work. I may have had a piece of cake or a cookie here or there, but it was not very often. For me, that was just the easiest way to cut all of that stuff out and try to.
Did you struggle going through that?
Yeah, in the beginning. No, because the circumstance for me was a little different when I got my. Do I want my kid or do I want this candy? Pretty easy choice. The pop thing I still struggle with. I'll admit that's my weakness. I don't drink Pepsi anymore, but I like Diet Pepsi quite a bit. But that I will always struggle with. But I guess there is sometimes, like when Christmas comes around, that's a hard time, and that's that Thanksgiving, November, December is when I like to lock in on that diet where I know I'm going to have some bad days, so I got to try really hard to make sure I have a lot of good days those times.
Yeah.
And there's weird things like, our family made a bunch of puppy chow, and I had had puppy chow in years. And then, after I saw that, I was just like, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Where it's just like, all right, you gotta get this out of here. I mean, it's just weird. Yeah, it is. I mean, it's weird things like that where I'll always, I'm sure I'm gonna have that happen to me a lot more, throughout my life. But now I'm in control.
Awesome.
I can make those decisions, and I'm the one who says no. I don't make those snap judgments to eat. So
now, how do you, like we talked earlier here, in your transformation of 2 years, I mean, is a master, guys. Working in this for over 18 years, you see so many individuals that'll make transformations like Joey, and then you never see them again, or they'll put that weight back on, fall off the wagon. But I over this period of the time of knowing Joey, I have not seen that happen. I mean, what inspires you? I mean, to seriously get motivated, stay on track, and I mean, what things are you doing?
Well, I guess to kind of back up, when we did the weight loss challenge, like I said before, I didn't want to enter that. I didn't want to win a prize. I like the concept. For me, mentally, it was just like, okay, if I win this, what am I learning? It was more about the journey than the actual. I could have got a sack of quarters and I wouldn't have cared. It was more about learning the whole process of, I want to live a life that I'm here forever. When you have kids, I want to see them get married. I want to see them go to college. And that is the ultimate prize, the ultimate prize. And plus, I want to be with my kids playing football. I don't want to be the dad that's out of breath on the sideline wishing I could do that stuff. Yeah. And me always thinking about the future and not the past. It's hard, that's when you're going through this process, you have to reflect a little bit, but at the same time you have to cut it off and be like, I can't change what happened before, I can only change tomorrow. And that's always been the case. It's just like, Monday I didn't have a good day, well, Tuesday I'm going to get right back up. I never waited for the next Monday to start whatever challenge I was going to do. And really, I think it's just about finding an environment that works for you. Like I said, there's so much support at Good Life Fitness. I could be here 8 hours a day and work out and be completely fine. I loved boot camp. It's always different. It's never the same. And same with Fusion, or any of the classes that we have. But really, it's, now it's just, I always try, my goal at the minimum is to hit the gym 5 days a week. And I always shoot for 6, and then usually I have a break day. And then that break day usually ends up me doing something at home, whether it's, I'm going for a walk with the kids, or I'm going for a quick little run, I'm still being active. I think it's just now so ingrained in my head, it's just part of the day. It's not a task, it's not a job, it's just a part of my life now that I can't imagine not being at Good Life Fitness at least an hour or something a day. And on top of that, when you win that challenge, I feel so much responsibility to keep going. That's another thing that I always think about too is there's a lot of people that were in my shoes 2 years ago, and maybe in some indirect way I'm showing them, you may not be the fastest. It's just about working. That's all you have to do. It's not a competition. You just have to. Yeah, it is progress. It took you a whole lifetime to get to where you're at. It's not. You're not going to flip it around in 6 months or 6 weeks. It's it's a lifestyle change, and you gotta make sure you're surrounding yourself with those supportive individuals. So
definitely, and I really believe that, guys. In all transformations, no matter what you're doing, it always starts with one meal, one workout, one day at a time. Every single day, I truly believe we walk a line of either failure or success in fitness. And if you have a bad meal or a bad day, like Joey mentioned, just put it in your past, get past it, move on, get going down the road. That's a common theory that we use. It's called the flat tire syndrome, guys. If you driving down the highway, you blow a tire, you don't get out and cut all 3 of the other tires and get the tow truck to come get you. You fix your tire, you get going, get back in the car and drive down the highway. And that's the most important information that I think I could offer you guys is that if you are struggling with your fitness, never focus on total perfection. You focus on progress every day. You get better and better by 1% every day. And if you add it up over a percent of 1% every single day, your progress where you were at where before you started, you'll be completely shocked on these sort of things, guys. And honestly, with Joey's message and his journey, I really believe what he did in those 12 weeks was something that he could keep maintaining past the 12-week period is why he's so successful today. If he was doing so many things that were so bad that he knew in the back of his mind that he could not keep doing past 12 weeks, he would not be sitting here today. And that's very powerful, guys. In our program, we do not focus on gimmicks. We don't focus on things like this. We focus on good, sound nutrition, a workout that is nothing fancy. A boot camp is basic, has all the good movements that are blended into it. It brings all elements of fitness to it, and I think that's what makes the power of Good Life Fitness as good as it is.